When I was in the last couple months of my nursing program, I was in my early 30s. I'd gone back to school as an adult learner, and I had a culmination of a whole bunch of symptoms that I had been ignoring all come to the surface, forcefully enough that I could no longer ignore them. I was forced to take a look at them. I had no idea why I was having those symptoms morning. At the time, I had no idea why I was having those symptoms. So my symptoms, what they looked like was I was having anxiety and full-on panic attacks at school in the middle of the day at various times. I was I had insomnia that was going unmanaged for months and months, and my stress levels were like through the roof. My self-care and health habits, so like my nutrition and my exercise, were just totally not optimal. And I was consuming way too much alcohol on top of that. So my stress was just crazy high. What I discovered with all of my symptoms, the anxiety, the depression I ended up falling into, the sleeplessness, the panic attacks, the fatigue, I felt like I was buzzing inside all the time, like my insides were vibrating or humming, like there was an electrical current running through me almost. And so I ended up going to see my doctor. At the time wasn't a physician. I called her my doctor, but she was a nurse practitioner, which was phenomenal. So I went and spoke with her, and I learned that I was iron deficient. So my ferritin stores were actually down to around 7 or 8 at the lowest. And for women, this should be ideally much closer to like 100. Your iron stores, your ferritin stores. So I was on the very, very, very low end. I was on the verge of needing iron infusions, IV iron infusions. And so I started exploring with iron supplements and some various other health remedies on top of. So I actually ended up going on an antidepressant. I ended up getting some sleeping pills for insomnia to short term to reset my sleep patterns. So I know a lot of people are very afraid to use pharmaceutical supports. And I was at the point, I was too, truly. It was not something I was ever interested in, and I was terrified to try them. I just felt like I had no other choice. So now fast forward, it's been a handful of years, 5 years maybe since that point. And it's been 2 years roughly since I quit drinking alcohol. So when I decided to quit drinking alcohol, my iron had come up to about like 30 or 32. My cat just walked in and is yelling at me. My iron stores came up, ferritin stores came up from 7 or 8 to about 30, 32, 34 in there somewhere. So my iron stores had actually replenished significantly. I had cut back on using alcohol a little bit, but not all the way. I hadn't made the choice to make that full-on change. So in reflection, so nowadays, like at this point in my life, I'm 38. I sleep well. I still from time to time use sleep aids because I do think I have I think there's some other underlying like genetic stuff truly that causes me to have some sleep issues from time to time. I go through some cycles. It could be hormonal. I'm not sure exactly, but I don't know if I'll ever figure that out truly. However, my sleep, generally speaking, is much more healthy and appropriate amounts to sustain a healthy lifestyle. I support my physical health with movement, gentle oftentimes movement. Sometimes I like to exert myself. Sometimes I like to be very gentle with yoga and stretching and walks and hikes versus like intense running and training, which sometimes I do. I know if you guys have seen some of my posts lately, I started doing half marathon training for fun, but that's not my normal. That's not my consistent. So, and then I also take health-based, very clean, pure supplements. So I have some, what they're called phytos, and essentially they're just fruits and vegetables ground down into powder that you get to drink each day. So you get a massive boost of nutrition. And I take pack of vitamins, multivitamins daily as well, and take some collagen products and other things that you guys have seen and heard me talk about to support my health and my well-being. In retrospect, the largest impact that stepping away from alcohol, increasing my self-care, and managing my nutrition, my movement, and the health products that I choose for myself, the biggest impact that it's had on my general health is my stress levels. I can typically manage my stress better, more effectively. I don't feel stress as heightened as what I did. Anything and everything would send me over the deep end. Like I just had no coping for stressors or stress. It just, my head would like explode with like, you know what I mean? I would just lose it with stress and fall apart and want to drink more and I'll forget to take care of myself and choose not to and all that kind of stuff. So the greatest impact, my stress management has increased, my stress perception has decreased, my anxiety is almost gone day to day. It's so minimal that when I do have it, I'm actually quite aware of it and I look for the trigger so I can explore it to support myself better, because it's not, most days I don't have anxiety. So when I do, it's much more kind of palpable, right? And so my sleep health is significantly improved. I don't have panic attacks anymore. My anxiety attacks are non-existent at this point. I don't know if they'll come back. And my fatigue, I still feel tired on and off, and some days are worse than others, but I think that's attributed to the low iron that I battle. I still take iron supplements on top of the vitamin packs that I take that are really well formulated to be bioavailable and easily absorbed by our bodies. I still take a heme iron, which is a bovine-based iron, because that's what my body absorbs and utilizes the most effectively of the irons that I've tried for me. But stopping alcohol use has been such a massive pivot in my mental health that like I just can't ever see myself going back, because, and even on the days like I shared recently in a TikTok or a short video that I had the urge to have a drink and it washed over me and it was strong and I was just like, holy, like I could just have like a big glass of red wine right now. Oh, it would taste so good. I could want it so bad I could smell it, you know? And then the other part of me, you know, that healed part of me that doesn't lean on alcohol for emotional coping and stress management anymore was just like, you're gonna feel like absolute garbage if you did that. So let's continue to care for ourselves, but let's honor that moment and let's respect that you had those feelings and that it's okay. It's totally normal. It's totally fine. And yay you for getting through it and not backpedaling into that space of anxiety and your nervous system just vibrating and rattling all day, every day. Because having been away from that and feeling so good now in comparison, it just isn't even worth risking the possibility of going back to those feelings. So I really wanted to tie together. I do attribute my iron deficiency, the last thing I'll say, I'll wrap it up, is I attribute massively my iron deficiency to my poor nutrition, my very heightened stress levels at the time that I was under, and my lack of movement and self-care, as well as the alcohol consumption levels that I was using at the time. I think they all played a part in depleting my iron. I think that was a massive stress response in my body. That was something that got depleted because of the choices I was making and the situation that I was in. So that's how they all tie together for me. And the positive outcomes of shifting those things is that my iron stores have come up greatly. I mean, a massive jump from 7 to 30, that's huge. It's still work in progress, but it's huge in the meantime. And, you know, having my stressors be manageable and livable, and having that alcoholism in recovery is just absolutely life-changing. And I wanted to tie all those things together for you, because if you are dealing with iron deficiency, if you have mass amounts of stress, if you have some kind of addiction, because on top of the substance that we're putting into our bodies, the stress and anxiety that comes with that addiction, that need to have something outside of yourself to numb or distract or feel better, whatever, cope, whatever we're using it for, it plays into our nervous system health as well, which ties into our organ health and our physical body function and our nervous system function. So I just wanted to tie all that stuff together for you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I always love to hear your comments. So if you have any feedback or any relatability, let me know in the comments section, and let's chat about it, because I know I'm not the only woman or person who manages iron deficiency, stressors, and addictions or alcohol use. So let's chat. Have a great day, guys.